...2025 season. The Manly Moes and Newcastle U-Beam. They're out here and they're ready to play. It's two Div 2 teams. U-Beam settling into a zone. And the Manly Moes having a look. Oh, that pass is going to pop up and Josh Bolton goes back. Gets the turnover. The first turn of the game comes on the first point. Here's Jonathan Jonas out to Chris Lavis. Stu Sinclair. Sinclair going to look for Chris Lavis.
Is that really, that's Spoon down there, who's I assume was in Div 1 for Manly. It just shows you how strong the Manly Div 1 team is, that they can afford to have him in the second division.
It does enough on the mark. Goes to the disc rather than playing off on the player. It works out.
It's almost like a sacrifice, isn't it? You go, okay, I'm buggered. Now I'm going to put a hard mark on and let's see if I can stop you throwing the goal. He did enough, as you say. I love it too. I love you being trying a zone in the first point. And it's a nice loose zone. Gives them a chance to recover on the swing.
Yep.
Now we've got JJ with the disc.
And I've got some really fond memories. I'll tell you about him in a little while. Josiah Smith. Oh, and Lavis.
Go on the foul.
He's going to go the foul. Remember.
As we look on the replay.
Spoon.
Okay. Chris got to it first. The question is, did his hand get bumped as he probably did? But he gives it up. He gives it up as I get some hugs in the commentary booth.
So here we go. Lachlan Roberts. Middle down the field to Harper Graham. Nice throw to space. Creating some width. Day. Back to Graham Nye, and then, oh, that is a hot one. Josh Yong. Have to check that disc to be tacoed because it looked like it got absolutely jammed.
Yeah, this was a hot pass. JJ made a valiant effort to get across on the inside. Let's have a look. Yeah, the inside shot was on. Whoa! JJ, did you get a touch? Did you get a touch? It was close. JJ not sure himself whether he got a touch on that.
No.
That's the, oof. Well done, Manly. The upwind against the zone on for about 3 or 4 shots, and that included a shot into the end zone that Spoon defended. So they definitely deserve that. They look pretty comfortable. This being their second game of the day.
And another, it's been a bit of the story of the day. Big team, big list, the shorter list. 19 for the Manly Moes.
Jeez.
Which is...
And 12 for U-Beam.
Yeah, 14 for
I think it's actually 12.
Is it? We've had a couple of omissions.
Of people pulled out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But good to see you being pulling those numbers together. Nate Hess settles underneath it. Kilda.
Kilda, well done.
Lavis. Terrence Chang. Oh, and that disc just gets big. Gets over the defender. Folks, Hess. Hess to Lavis. Some nice looking ultimate there for the Newcastle U-Beam.
I tell you what, I don't even mind that shot from Terrence, getting it upwind. Yes, with a defender that read the disc well, it would have been a turnover. But Lavis, to his credit, sits underneath it. And this shot from Nate Hess to Lavis, upwind, very nice. Puts it in front. Only Chris could get it.
Yeah.
Nice shot, Nate.
Tankyag, the defender there, he climbed on up there, but the wind just caught an edge, the disc in the wind, and
Chris Lavis knew exactly where that was coming down.
He just
let it simply waited for it.
Let it run and gathered it in at the end of the road. So, what a great start it's been to this game.
Yeah. It's a bit of a come down in the intensity, obviously, from
well, you
the
notice that
difference. Yeah, you do. But I'm impressed, and U-Beam got there on the first, call of asking. Yeah. Good pull there from Josh Bolton. That's sat right at the back of the end zone. They're going to have to play it from there. The zone is back on, Dan.
We might see U-Beam stick with this a large part of this game. Lachlan Roberts in as a handler. Joshua Young. Now the swing pass goes all the way over. Roberts throwing inboard just a little. And now Matt Thomas. Josiah Smith does enough.
Great to see Josiah getting up there.
Sinclair, just laces out to Micah Barnes.
Oh, Stewie would love to have that one back. He had a free Micah Barnes, and he's put it too far in front, forgetting about the strength of that breeze that's coming from right to left.
We'll have to come back to Josiah Smith and his story in a little bit. Joshua Young handling for the Moes, and now here's Remy Campbell. Oh, that is a nice hammer. Finds Matt Thomas. Oh, they try and go with speed. Graham Nye. Here's McRail. Bolton. Sinclair. Smith goes fast. Kilda. Too fast. Through the hands.
The play was right. Kilda just couldn't hang on there.
Young. Roberts trying to get something going. Campbell. Lachlan Frost.
Oh,
gets it around the edge with a break pass. Frost again.
Micah Barnes doing a great job in this zone. Lots of energy.
He's holding up this offense as the Moes. It's now the Frisbee. And at the moment, it seems that their ideas of how to break it down, they're not completely clear on how they're going to do this. Campbell combining. Yong. Well, there's the turn. The zone for U-Beam, it's getting the job done. It's getting them the disc back.
Bit of experience there shown by Josh Bolton, walking slowly back to the disc.
Here's Sinclair. Bolton goes up the line. Clears the space for Nick Kilda. Oh, it's too big and too high. Lachlan Roberts.
Gone to match now.
I think this maybe is the opportunity for the Manly Moes, the one that they need. Because against the zone, they were struggling. Campbell gets up the line. Graham Nye. There's Roberts. Campbell's gone. Oh, and that's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Campbell covers off.
That was a good grab. It wasn't. Don't underestimate the difficulty of that one. It was an arcing, bladey flick gave no room for error, and he had to lay out to catch it. Let's have a look.
He had to cover off on it, didn't he, John? Because it doesn't really show too much on the camera, but that disc was bobbling. It was wind affected.
Yeah.
Campbell having to go to ground. And I wonder if Young just Smith, the ultimate fieldy, one of those young guys that he had something about him, but just a string of horror injuries. Yeah,
and just growing up too fast, for his body.
Series of knee injuries that were horrific. Really put a dampener on his ultimate career, and it's always a shame when young athletes are, they struggle with injuries. And
yeah, from that age. Yeah, that's right. But
great to see him out there.
Great to see him out there. He kind of, as a transition, has gotten into disc golf, which has helped him. And even just walking around of disc golf is exercise in itself, and especially when you're trying to get back to fully formed muscles and everything in coordination. So, but great to see him. He's always actually been quite fast, and he's getting back to that speed now. So yeah, great to see.
It's just a shame I couldn't talk him out of playing soccer earlier.
Yeah,
because that was where the injuries happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sinclair dishes it off to Lavis. Finds Barnes. Sinclair, he's gone with the bucket hat. Needing some sun protection out there. And the Moes 2-1. So U-beam, they need this to stay on serve. Oh, Lavis, that's low. It's a worm burner. There's the turnover for the Manly Moes.
That was exceptionally low because the ground actually dips there. So he was helped by the position of the field there. But, too low. He'd love to have that one back, Chris Lavis.
Larson. Finds a throw to Tavera. Oh, and now heavy pressure. Barnes on the heels.
Oh, foul called.
Tom Ho. Yeah, as Barnes is going to ground there, he was looking towards Tom Ho as if to say, you should call something here.
Yeah.
Because I've clipped you on the way through there, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ho gets it again. Folks, shoulder to shoulder. Larson. A low one. Now Cade Burgess. Larson again into power position. He's looking to the end zone. And there's Tom Ho. So the Manly Moes, they get a break now on U-beam. 3-1 the score.
Tommy Ho, go. He's put the burners on there. He started with a disc up there after the foul call and basically didn't stop running. Let's have a look. And this is all on the open side. They've just gone down the open sideline for the goal here.
It's tough when containment gets broken like that. You find yourself on the wrong side of the player, and a team like the Manly Moes,
I think
they spot the opportunity and they take it to full advantage.
And man for man, they are quicker. There are quick players on U-beam, but man for man, they are quicker than U-beam. So U-beam got to use all their wisdom and guile. They're going downwind now. They were within one pass of staying on serve, but now they find themselves in a 3-1 break. But they can get back to 3-2 here.
Quite the O-line out there for U-beam.
Look at that.
Folks.
You got Chris Folks.
Chris Lavis and also Jonathan Jonas.
Yeah, you got Josh Bolton, Nate Hess. There's a bunch of throwers out there,
Terence Chang and Josiah Smith.
It's a little bit of speed. Everything you need and a good line. Let's see how they go downwind.
Well, after a cloudy morning, it has turned into a stunning day here in Port Stephens.
That's not a bad pull into that breeze. Gives you an idea. Hits about the brick mark.
Jonathan Jonas takes it on the full. Hess. Folks. Oh, the scuba over the top. Finds Lavis in some space. Lavis plays through the gap. Doing enough by the looks. Joshua Yong.
Is there a touch involved there?
It looked like it.
Okay.
It looked like he got a piece of it.
Oh, that's a great grab.
Really nice catch up high. And now he's going to huck it. The wind's going to kill it as JJ gets back. Lavis goes fast. Josh Bolton.
Pick call. That was on Terrence. Okay, Bolton here or the static start.
Well, that works. It works out. It works out in the end.
Know.
Just enough of a lead. Now Chris Fakes. Smith. Couple of lefties out there for U-Beam. Jonas had a throw back to the break side.
Oh.
Instead, it's Chris Fakes at the front corner.
Well, they've got it. They got the second goal, 3-2. They're one break down. They did the job they needed to do, not without a turn. But it looked like Manly Moes were struggling on flick to bite into the breeze. They had a couple of shots where they were trying to go long, and it wasn't working. Nevertheless, well done, Beam. They used those experienced players to hit the obvious place, which is the open side, downwind, end zone. And I think the Moes are missing a shot here. I would, if it was them going downwind, I would be playing flick. You know, it's too easy to hit the end zone on this near sideline with the breeze like this, like it is at the moment. And I do notice that Moes, they've got Felix, who's coming back from injury. This is a very good player out of Sydney. Sydney Sunder he plays for. He had a horror ACL injury that he incurred at North Sydney League. Really unfortunate. Just before he was supposed to be playing rep. That's put him out. He's still coming back now as we speak, but he is doing the job.
Here's Herman, back to Walsh. And so the Manly Moes will need to work again against the U-Beam zone. The U-Beam zone, though, it's getting them opportunities, John. It's getting turnovers.
Right. Now, Lavis can throw into the breeze. This is going to require some effort to get it up to the end zone.
Continues to be quite blustery. Sinclair. Lavis.
Oh.
Pick called on Kilder.
Players reposition themselves. Didn't look like there was much in it, but I don't think U-Beam actually mind the break.
Well, it does give them a chance to take a breath and just have a look, see what the field situation is. Sinclair tries to get up the line. There's that just around break that...
Oh, they're two top shelf throws. Can they finish it off?
And going fast.
Oh, Chris McRailed. He gets the goal. Upwind.
And that's two class throws back-to-back. First Chris Lavis to Josh Bolton, and then Josh Bolton with his own around backhand back to Chris Lavis. You know, those are two throws that both of those men have, you know, they practice that at IB.
They do. And into this breeze, Chris McRail finishing it off on the break side. Manly desperate to get around and stop that flow of breaks, but they did it.
So that brings us back to 3-3. Manly Moes, Newcastle U-Beam. It's come back to evens. That's a good mini fight back there for the U-Beam.
Yep, it is. Now, what's really interesting is what Felix will be telling him right now with this offense, because he saw that they were struggling with on flick. So, and I hope U-Beam will continue with that defense, having seen them struggle with that. But I'm sure Felix has got something in mind. It's got to be get over to the high side of the field. They need to be on the far side of the field and work their offense from there.
The high side being obviously where the wind is coming from.
Exactly.
And do you think that U-Beam need to realise the opposite as well, that they need to get the disc to the low side and maybe make their zone one way?
Completely. Yeah, if they're doing so. I actually suspect they might go match here, flick. That's what I'd be doing if I were them. Even though they're giving up a little bit on athleticism. Oh, that was... Oh, they didn't need that. I tell you what, if you ever needed to pull in, it was right there. Manly will gladly accept this gift. They are going zone. Straight to the high side.
And the right way to approach this point, you would think. And the Moes trying to hold it on the high side. They are forced to go to Frost.
Well done, Terrence, stopping that flow throw, but they haven't stopped it completely.
Matt Thomas back in the middle to Frost. Manly Moes are having more success now. They're finding space. Lachlan Roberts giving strong directions. Instructing the throw, go back to Frost first. Gordon, Frost.
If they want it, Thomas is completely open over here. There are paddocks in between him and defenders.
So Thomas now with the disc. Looks off the cut of Roberts.
This is a burner for you, Beam, if you're in the cup. I'll tell you now.
Well, it's about containment. They need to hold the disc in one place and get some pressure on. Nate Hess does well there. But the Moes, they puzzle it out in the end. Frost is doing plenty. Now Matt Thomas. Here's Roberts. Thomas. Frost. The moment, the Manly Moes just being cool, calm and collected.
There it is. They stretched the U-Beam defence like a gammy hamstring, and until it finally snapped.
Well, it did wear out in the end. It was a very, very composed point by the Manly Moes. And needed, with U-Beam stringing together two consecutive.
I would love to know. I'm going to go and find out. What did Felix say? Did he say stretch the goddamn field out, make them go sideline to sideline on there? I'm going to find out.
And a great insight that we get as well as a result of John Greenfield running off to talk to the players or the captains or the coaches or whoever it might be. The man who knows everyone. So, nice little game that we've got going here.
Yeah, Dan, so I just went and asked Coach Felix and Matty Thomas what was said there on the line by Felix to the team. And he did say that if they do play zone, we can take 1,000 passes, we can get 4 handlers and swing sideline to sideline. So that's exactly what they did, and that's a bit of a master stroke, bit of master coaching there from Felix.
And Kuyag with the pull, folks. And Lavis generating, and now the huck.
Oh!
Gets walloped back. Ben Larson, a long throw. Now Herman. Herman has a cutter streaming deep. It's underneath. Now the uppercut. The layout to preserve the offense. Kate Burgess. Now one more. It's in. Rafi Herman. Big point for Manly Moes. They get a break.
And they now keep that 2-goal gap. Oh, you feel for Ubeam there. I didn't mind that shot there from Chris Lavis at all. He just couldn't get it over. He had the smaller receiver in Ollie there, and it was a very good D from the Manly defender. Within 2 passes, okay, the D itself made 20 metres, but then within 2 passes they were into the red zone and picked off that throw once again onto that corner, so that was well done from Manly.
On the field behind this one, Ubeam's backup team. the
reserves.
Yeah, the reserves. The Ubeamers of the future are playing on the far field against one of the Sunder teams. Currently 6-all over there.
6-all?
Yeah,
wow.
so
okay.
Ubeam close in that match. Sunder in battle with the Novocastrians.
I actually saw Chile drop a Callahan in that game. As we see, yeah. All right, what are we going to do here for Ubeam? Well, they've shown actually if they're patient enough, they can work any defence on the downwind pretty well.
I think we need to talk more about disc golfers. JJ, well-known disc golfer in Australia, and Remy Campbell as well as Terrence Chiang has seen Josiah Smith go, but Smith has gotten turned inside out as Chiang had thrown it to the near third.
It was an interesting shot, wasn't it? Really, Josiah never had a look at getting in on it.
Josiah being in the near third, throwing to the same third, like you say, John.
Yeah.
Makes it hard. So now the Manly Moes are taking an opportunity. Up the line goes Lachlan Roberts. Back for the reset. Here's Lachlan Frost. He's in and away, and then Frost is going to roost it. Thomas is going to have to go a long way. He does track it down. He's out the back.
Immediate hand up there in apologies for overshooting Thomas, who had the height on the defender, Chris Folkes. Didn't need to do that. But Ubeam with a second chance.
And Folkes comes to the front of the end zone. Oh, and Ulhas Day just undercutting the pass, gets to it.
Yeah, showed a clean set of heels there, though, to get that.
Mason Gordon. Now Remy Campbell. Gordon again. This time Lachlan Roberts.
Jeez, Barnes was close to a block there.
I love what Barnes is doing at the moment. He's bringing plenty of energy. Mason Gordon.
Oh.
And that'll ask a little bit of Lachlan Roberts, who gets in the end zone. Another break for the Manly Moes.
Roberts has done something here. I think he's feeling for his back.
He looks uncomfortable, doesn't he, John?
Yeah. But he did very well there. Burnt Micah Barnes, who's pretty quick. Let's see how this play evolved here. Manly doing it on breaks with backhands. Yeah. That was just a nice pass. I mean, you can't blame Micah too much there. It was a break and a nice sit into the end zone. Okay, now we're seeing a gap open up between these teams. I must say there's a bit of a quality gap. Yeah, well, to be fair, mainly in the athleticism. I actually think Ubeam have got some very good, capable throwers. But you just saw that there where JJ went up the line but he just got overtaken by someone quicker than him.
Yep.
You know, he was just unable to make up that distance.
So a good situation for the Manly Moes to be in, leading in this match. Makes you wonder, you know, which of these players for Manly might be next to make a step up into the higher grades. I'm liking the way Lachlan Frost is going about things.
Yep,
he looks promising.
And I must say, even though he's master's age, Matt Thomas, I'm surprised he's in Div 2. I mean, that's just the embarrassment of riches that Manly has.
The embarrassment of riches indeed. Josh Bolton. The around break, back to Sinclair. The Manly Moes bring a zone. Sinclair into the cup. The Manly Moes winding back the clock with a pommy.
Yeah, 4 around the disc.
1-3-2-1 is the structure. We don't see too many of them due to the well-known weaknesses in the zone that most teams are very familiar with. Folks again. Folks is going to break through to Ollie DiPietro. And there it is. U-beam. Very familiar with the 1-3-2-1.
Yes. Yeah, it's well known to these players. I think all of these experienced players, so Stewie Sinclair and Chris Folkes, Josh Bolton, all making short work of that. And basically playing it through the cup. You know, the Manly players never really got someone in there to crash and prevent that flow. And then you just needed a little bit of the lefty flair of Chris Folkes to find a gap through the middle.
Well, I think that really the beginning, well, not the beginning, but the end of the end for the 1-3-2-1 was when Wollongong, started to really get good at the national stage, because very windy Sydney, Wollongong. The wind, I don't know if it bounces off that escarpment or it comes racing over the escarpment or what it is, but windy city. And Wollongong, I remember there was a national tournament where both the men's and the women's team came in, and they were about the only team that could play. And they showed that the Pommy, previously it was about swinging and throwing, really long-range passes, 15, 20 metres sideways. Wollongong kind of showed, well, you can actually break this zone just by throwing a lot of 3-metre backhands inside the cup. So interesting that U-beam, that they're well aware of how to bust that zone, and they use possibly one of the strongest tactics against it.
Yeah.
So now Manly on offense. Roberts trying to break past Jonathan Jonas. U-beam. They're bringing another zone of their own. This time it looks they've gone the 3-3-1. Frost across the field. And a good throw with Blade. And now back across the grain they go. And the Manly Moes 7-4.
Well, whatever you can do, we can do better. And instead of going through the cup, here they went around it with a very nice hammer that we haven't seen until this stage, into the teeth of the breeze. Then a zigzag of passes. A nice leading flick forehand outside in to get it to the high side. That opened it up like a tin can for the simple pass through the centre.
So, Manly Moes 7, Newcastle U-beam 4. A break here and a hold. The Moes will take half.
7-4.
I think for this this next point, I'd love to see Manly go away from that zone now. They've kind of established it. They know they can go back to it, but with half-time beckoning and the advantage of numbers, I think a match defense. could be what they need to do here.
Oh, I agree. Oh, and they've done it. They've listened to you, Dan.
Nate Hess throws inside. Yeah, it's created the...
Yep. As soon as they went to the receivers, they get a turn.
Say what you will, maybe it's because the handlers haven't been used to throwing those downfield passes. Maybe it's the receivers not used to running, in a match offense. Now the Manly Moes, big chance for them. Walsh, oh, that's going to float. It's going to float forever. And Ben Larson benefits.
Oh, I'm not sure that's how he wrote up that throw reception, but they'll take it. And what you can say, he gave it enough sit for the receiver to miss it on the under, look around as if to say, well, who's getting that? And then to track it down. What's this? Oh, who's that for? Oh, I'll keep going and I'll catch it. It almost as if the disc just stopped in suspended animation in the air there.
Well, half-time, the players will go and have a break. I think the Manly Moes are going to be pretty happy with where they're at. But if you were going to go and join in on the U-Beam chat, what would you be saying to them?
Yeah, I think they've got to find that better connection to the receivers. So, I think it was a genius move, as you said, to do the match there because they weren't ready for it, U-Beam. They were not ready for it. They probably called a nominal horror, which is what they seem to have. But, yeah, I think they needed to have had a play where a designated receiver was going to get it. That's what they needed to do there. And that's it. And then just rely on their flow and their structure. But anyway, it wasn't to be. And that initial pass from Nate Hess to Josiah, not connecting and Manly doing the job.
Well, on that note, we'll take a break here. We'll be back after the halftime with the conclusion of this match between the Manly Moes and the Newcastle U-Beam.
Head underwater, falling back into you. I thought we'd be smarter. I got nothing left to lose. You said you fall with me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different. Makes me wanna risk it every time I look at you. You pull me back into your river, swim a little deeper. I don't need to breathe with my head underwater. Not sure I really care. We're out of our demons, and they never disappear. I will forgive you if you've forgiven me. We're stuck in this pattern, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different. Makes me wanna risk it every time I look at you. You pull me back into your river, swim a little deeper. I don't need to breathe with my head underwater. like the others. They do not need to know. You said you fall with me, no matter how deep it goes. With my head underwater.
So the Manly Moes going to break their huddle second. Newcastle U-beam, they're on offense. They're going to head out to the field of play. So the score update from the far field. On serve between Sunder and I-beam. They've just had half. With I-beam about to play offense out of halftime. So lots of stories to come here for this unofficial official start to the 2025 season. What a season it's promising to be. Saw Manly and Mammoth go at it in the previous time slot. I-beam and Fishwick also earlier today. It's been some great games so far. Coming up this afternoon, we've also got a women's match as well. Plenty of Opens teams here this weekend. Only the 5 women's teams, so much smaller draw for the women's side. And we'll get the opportunity to see 2 of those teams this afternoon, which we're looking forward to, because the spread, shall we say, of ability and talent in the women's side is much, much closer. The 5 teams, there's arguably 4 of them will be going deep into the Nationals season. Factory from ACT, Rogue, GWS. So many great women's teams here. Really, that kind of concentration of talent, it's going to set all of those teams up potentially for great seasons here in 2025. So the Manly Moes in no hurry to get out of the halftime. 8-4. U-beam have been on the line for a hot minute.
Hope they reapplied their sunscreen.
It is warm. It's deceptively warm. The sun, it is a summer sun, and it is the 25th of January. So whilst the temperature is absolutely pleasant at 25, when you're standing in the sun, there's a bit of bite to it, a bit of UV. UV index is 9 for the day.
All right, here we go, Dan.
The wind 13 kilometres an hour with gusts up to 30 kilometres an hour.
You'd say it at the lower end of that right now.
Yeah. But still blustery at times, making things interesting. Here's Smith. Nate Hess. Hess gestures into the cup, please. Finds Bolton.
Bit of double team here from Manly, not called.
Very, very close. Results in a turn. Bolton trying to thread the needle. So the Mo come away with it. Ben Larson. Oh, that's a sharp one. Looking for Burgess.
Just out of reach. Yeah, once again, Manly guilty of leading passes downwind in front of their receivers.
Bolton just going to take his time coming back to the field of play. Jonas finds Hess. Folks straight up and in the cup. Folks, absolute zone breaker that he is. Now to Lavis. They go quick. The veterans combining, and Lavis speed kills.
Oh, it's such a shame. Working so well. And just that last pass getting caught by the breeze. He was just a little off balance, and that's all it needed. Manly, now this wind has picked up once again.
It's that 40k an hour wind gusts that my weather app is telling me that we've got at the moment. Samir Tavera finds Tom Ho.
Oh, great D from Chris Folks. Thief in the night.
Folks not playing for I-Beam. First time in a long time that he's changed which team, named after a structural member he is playing for. The Newcastle Steel City that doesn't really make a lot of steel anymore, especially with the closure of Mollycop.
Yep. Oh, great move from Bolton.
Shake and bake. Oh, now he's just going to lift it up. That's in the breeze. Burgess, well read.
Looks like Lavis is a bit unsighted there. Never got a read on above his head, but two defenders there.
It's into double coverage. Hard throw to make, especially with Ben Larson. Every bit as tall as Chris Lavis. Oh, Larson finds Tom Ho. Well, that's some grab. Alton Kuyag.
Hang on. There's a call. There's a call. So there's a stall call. Back with the thrower. Tommy Ho, another very good player that I'm surprised is in the Div 2 team, but again, just showing the depth of Manly.
For Manly, it's really the goal of every club, isn't it? To get into that situation where you can't take everyone, and you've got a list that is overflowing with talent and names that arguably you could take them.
Yeah.
U-Beam, another opportunity with disc in hand. Bolton picks it up. Terrence Chang. Chang goes to the inside look. Finds Folks. Folks breaks. Out to Nate Hess, who's camped in the end zone. Pulled up a deck chair and pitched his tent.
And said, who said beer was the king of summer?
Exactly.
But can I just look at this?
They're out there drinking a Canadian club.
Look at this shanky flick. Now, watch Folks here say, come on, boys, get into the centre. I want to see the centre. Then throws to a sideline to an open player. The motion from Folks could have been actually directed towards the Manly defenders. Can you please come inside so we get a completely clean shot to Nate Hess, who's on the sideline? Very good, very good. So that pegs it back a little bit for you, Bean. 5-8 now. How is your 2020 vision over there? Can you see the scoreline?
Yeah, 9 all. John.
9 all.
And
righto.
I know
it's always served.
Working on university this year gone, started to notice some headaches when I worked too long on the computer, and I thought, oh no, that's a sign of the vision starting to go.
Oh yeah, wait till you hit 45 and fall off a cliff.
No, the cliff has already claimed me. I think I hit that at about 27. I fell off.
Wait, you haven't hit full velocity yet.
I haven't hit terminal velocity. Yeah. I reckon I'm still in free fall.
Yeah. Just bounced off the cliff down into a
tumble
sinkhole. All right. Here we go. Josh Bolton with the pull.
I think, Bolton, a good puller, and he will deliver here for you, Beam, giving the men in Cinnamon and Emerald a chance to get a defence on.
It's another zone. It's a Pommy.
Yeah.
I want to say. They've left that open, though.
Some throw, and now, that's a good one.
Oh.
For a moment, I thought it might get big, but Lachlan Roberts, that's a good throw. Crossfield, finding the space.
Wrote his memoir on the disc and then threw it down for the D team to take it over. Maybe he was writing instructions to the D line. Who knows? But, yeah, this is just the zigzag here. Get it across there with a very nice hammer and then zag. Back to there. That was just very nice.
And filthy jerseys over the years. These new ones, they look really nice, which is a complete departure for I-Beam.
Well, that's because they've downplayed the brown. So for
they've discarded the cinnamon.
Yeah. So for our watchers and listeners, Newcastle, the very first battalion in the First World War that came out in Newcastle, known as the Newcastle Battalion. And each battalion holds its colours, and the colours were cinnamon and emerald. Unfortunately,
they don't go together at all.
They don't go together at all. And they look, in fact, it got to the point in I-Beam's history, and by extension U-Beam, that the uniforms, it was a race to the bottom. People were putting up what they considered to be the ugliest combination of brown and green.
Well, there was that jersey that was the brown and green vertical stripes.
Yeah.
That was horrific.
That was like a HB pencil, that one. Then we had...
And then there was the all brown shorts.
Yeah.
That was a crime.
It does cover accidents, but it was just an awful look.
The all green shirt and the all brown shorts. But nice to see I-Beam and U-Beam, by extension, looking much, much trendier this season.
Yep.
The nice emerald fade.
For listeners out there, that's a nice look from John Jonas.
And now they're away, U-Beam. Micah Barnes on the left-hand side. Oh, yes, get it to the hands of Chris Lavis.
Oh, Lavis cannot find the goal.
Nate Hess. Hess finds
there
Josh Bolton.
There it is. Nate Hess, the captain of U-Beam, working with Chris Lavis, the coach. And that was nicely done. And if we talk about the uniforms, we can see there Chris Lavis, number 2. He's sporting the 2010 edition of the I-Beam uniform, the one that actually won nationals in Adelaide in 2010. And John Jonas wearing the 2022 version of the uniform.
Yep. Because there was a worse one than that. There was worse one.
No, there was a worse HB pencil look. Yeah.
Because I think it predated that one.
No, it was after that. It was the 2013 version.
As you say, a race to the bottom.
Well, and then Sturt came up with the Dazzle Beam, where it was like a ship's camouflage that they'd paint on the sides of a ship.
Oh, that's right. There was that one too.
And it was disgusting. And also a tartan. There was also a tartan proposed for the I-Beam shirt. That was even worse than the Dazzle Beam. So it was a race to the bottom. And luckily we had a guy by the name of Jake Winchester come into the club.
Yes.
And just draw a line under that.
Thankfully Jake has a little bit of style.
He wants to look good in a shirt.
And he wasn't he was from outside the the culture that had been brewing for some time within I-Beam. You know, Sturt Wilson, a long-time Novocastrian and representative for I-Beam.
Yeah. All right, we've got a game on here. And here's actually an ex-Novocastrian himself getting the disc moving for Manly.
Yeah, Newcastle's loss is Manly's gain. Remy Campbell, great team man. Moes working down the left. Here's Lachlan Frost.
Frost's been good, hasn't he?
He's been excellent, and I think he's starting to put together a resume for a Div 1 Manly Mullets place potentially for 2026.
Yep.
That's if he doesn't end up in the Div 1 team for the mixed season.
Yeah.
Oh, Roberts up the line. Roberts also doing a very good job there. he's just leading this team at the moment. He's providing a lot on offense.
Yeah. And Josiah, who's got some nip about him, unable to... Let's have a look. I don't know what happened to Josiah. He should have been able to cover his speed. He must have got burnt on the turn of speed. Yeah. Like, he just wasn't watching. He got turned around. Yeah. Well, Josiah will look back and learn from that little moment there. He's got his thumbs up. He'll have a look because he sort of momentarily lost sight, and that's all you need in this game to get burnt up the line by someone slower than you. And, I mean, he almost got there.
Yep. I remember a young player. I was taught some really key lessons by, one experienced player in particular where, if you're marking someone in a certain way, you need to be aware. Otherwise, they're just going to get thrown past you without you knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And that player shall remain nameless.
Oh, no, come on, you can say it.
The same player also was very, very good at what they used to call the 747 fake.
Oh, dear, me, yours truly, okay.
Yeah, it was you.
Okay, 10-6 to the Moes. They're going really well. They're not scared of the upwind now at all. Yeah. So need a clean hold here to stay in touch.
Ooh, a little bit of a travel. Stu Sinclair being told to make up his ground. He goes back. He's gesturing. Yeah.
I can hear Stu's opinions on it from here. He's sort of basically saying, well, look, how much effect did it really have here, guys?
Sinclair breaks the mark. Chris Lavis. Now Josh Bolton. Jonathan Jonas. Oh, gets undercut. Cade Burgess.
Yeah, read it well. And JJ was unaware of the danger there.
Tavera up the line. Tobias Walsh. Oh, that's a sharp one. But again, another forehand.
Yeah, leading. And it's almost like Manly. They've worked out the puzzle of upwind, but they haven't worked out the downwind puzzle.
So what needs to change for them in those? They've got that opportunity to throw that downwind leading forehand. What should they be doing instead?
Yeah, as we look at
cameo.
Yeah, a little cameo there. Yes, that's the original Finney, by the way, who just crossed the field there. Look, we saw a beautiful pass from the Moes downfield beforehand where they sat it and it pretty much went into frozen mode on the screen. A bit more of that. So let's see the end zone offense here for the Moes.
Samir Tavera will pick it up. Looking for Walsh. Walsh clears the space for Cade Burgess and then the throw into space.
Yep.
Big old spike. And Manly Moes go to 11.
Yep. And it's been the case all game that their best way of scoring on the downwind is simply a pass into this corner. The near side corner, we've talked about it all game. But this is a nice slash up the line, opens up the centering pass, and there's the continuation. Hard to stop.
Well, it's one of those plays that you drill where you're trying to emphasise timing from the stack. With the disc being in the air to the middle of the field, that cut from the stack already needs to be coming. So it's something that is a drill. It's something that teams will practice it. Perfect by the Manly Moes. Really good execution there. 11-6.
Yep. And really, if this was going to be a game you felt like UB needed to hold there for 10-7. 11-6 now. That's a 5-point gap with about 19 minutes on the clock.
Yep, time ticks away.
And Dan, your eyesight, please, for the scoreboard over there.
12-9 currently. So the wheels has come off for someone.
Well, I think left is Sunder, right is I-beam.
Okay, so if that's the case, I-beam are up 12-9.
Wow, okay. Then they should be on defence here.
Mark McClay's got the disc for Sunder.
No, so interesting. All right, we'll get coming back to this game.
It's a nice pull. Wrong foot's Josh Bolton. And the Moes get down on defence. They'll bring their 1-3-2-1 again. Bolton. Good use of the scuba. Just leading McRailed into space. And then McRailed goes back. Space. U-beamer off. Josiah Smith going back to Lavis. Chris Lavis. Very familiar with the 1-3-2-1. Played at the university level when everyone played the 1-3-2-1 almost exclusively. And here he is.
Great throw from Folks. He'd been baiting that backhand. He actually wanted the backhand. Steps around. He has a lovely around flick. Yeah. We've just been reminded by John Jonas that there were 4 passes in a row to someone called Chris. And they didn't throw to they throw to themselves as well. They gave go to each other. That was very nice. 11-7.
And we have just the energy in this game has just quietened down a little. Where there's just a bit of a trading kind of situation now being set up.
Yep. And I'm not sure how much energy is in the bank for UB with 12 players to really mount an energy storm, you know, to really disrupt things. I think they just don't have enough. So they are sort of having to live off mistakes.
And I think for U-beam, I think that at this stage, they're living and dying by the sword in their zone defence. And given the energy levels, it's quite warm out there at the moment, they've just got to keep going with it. But maybe throw a bit of a wrinkle. Yeah. Change the zone. Let's bring a different structure. Rather than go with the 3-3-1, let's change this. Maybe go with the 3-3-1, but force one way. You're
saying use your head rather than your legs. You know, you're making sense, Dan. It's dangerous.
I'll be careful not to do it too much because I think, and here's where U-beam are completely flipping the script. Coming out in match defense, they're going to trust their legs here.
Hey, he's not on the brick mark there that I carefully laid out. Oh, what a catch!
Samir Tavera gets horizontal to save that. Back to Walsh.
Oh.
Rafi Herman. Well, that's a big one that gets big. So U-beam, an opportunity for them upwind. Nate Hess picks it up.
Oh.
It's been excellent in leading this team.
Oh, Terrence.
But it pops up still. Ollie Di Pietro can't get to the fall of the disc. So Samir Tavera will pick it up again. Walsh. Tavera goes the break. Down to Cade Burgess. Walsh. Pick call, so disc comes back.
Coming through the stack there.
Stu Sinclair just screened off, covering his player. Figuring out the stall count. Walsh sticks with it.
Good coverage from Stu Sinclair.
Always been a good defenseman, Sinclair. Tavera working in space, gets to it, goes to ground. He's still got the Frisbee, that's the important thing. Tavera looking for help. It's Fenger.
Oh, that was a push pass. Try and get out. He was under a bit of time pressure there.
Yeah, and Lachlan Fanger just didn't like the option. He see him gesturing, throw flick. But in close quarters like that forehand is probably the hardest throw in Ultimate. So you got to put spin on it while taking power off. It just, the biomechanics don't really work that way.
Yeah.
Here's Hess with enough pressure. Herman brings enough to force the error.
And in the battle of position, Manly are across halfway now.
Walsh finds a nice catch. And Naman Ganjgar.
Frozy's sunny's off. Felix asking him to re-robe.
And I heard some, is it Gen Z or Gen Alpha slang? You need to max your aura. Mate. Never. Fenger. Fenger has played a great game so far. Ganjgar. He's gone down. That looks
now,
awkward.
This is either a cramp or he's done his calf. Well, I hope it's a cramp. Look, the way he just got up there. I don't like that.
The sniper has claimed another victim.
Yeah, I don't like the way he's walking off there. Because if it was cramp, he'd just ask someone to stretch it out. Instead, he's limping off.
And it's that awkward, half going to throw, but holding the throw, so you're off balance, your weight is going forward, your momentum is forward, you're stopping your inertia.
Yeah, you're decelerating, which is...
It is always the eccentric portion that is the troubles. That's where the troubles begin with muscles and the like.
Yep.
Rarely the concentric, at least with hamstrings and things of that nature. Lachlan Fanger catching another goal for the Manly Moes. U-Beam with their opportunities in that point, John.
Yeah, they did have them. I felt like, again, they just... Well, we saw a drop from Nate Hess. That was a bit of a gimme, but there was pressure on it. We saw a pressure throw to Terrence. He couldn't hold on. They had their opportunities. But well done, Manly Moe. They showed enough to get the job done, downwind, given those chances. They might have copped an injury out of it, though. The irony is, I don't want to hex the team here, but U-Beam have got 12, and they've managed to hold on to everyone.
It's been nice weather.
And we hope Naman Ganjgar is okay.
Yep.
Limped off the field. He's played a good role in this game. He's been in and around. He's been busy. He's had a positive influence, which I think, as a player, that's really all you wanted to do was be a positive influence in the game. Do your part. Do as much as you can.
He's shown the energy. And look at him. He's still coming in for this huddle, despite being hurt.
Well, on the far field, John, a score update for you. Sunda are up 13-10 on IB.
Okay, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is a rebuilding year for them. 4 rookies, a set of players who are not playing this season.
Yeah, a lot of players for this IBeam, this Newcastle men's club, which I think that is the value of this U-Beam team, is people like your Chris Folks and your Chris Lavises and your Stu Sinclairs and your Jonathan Jonases can come down and play and pass on the benefit of their experience. So some of my fondest memories were actually playing with JJ and Chris Lavis, because they were just great people to be around. And great fun.
Yeah.
They'd come out and they'd always play Ultimate at a high level, but it was never at the expense of anything. It was always for the love of the game, and I looked up to the pair of them because they were the senior players in Newcastle University when I was playing there, and I remember...
Were they still at uni when you were... Yeah, right. So they were. Yeah. Okay.
Which is a while ago now.
Yeah.
But, you know, those introductions to the sport as a young player back then, you know, and they're still doing that now with this U-Beam team where, you know, it's the likes of Ollie DiPietro, Micah Barnes, you know, Josiah Smith, you know, young players that they've only been playing a little while and they get to be around those really great characters.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, missing here, I suppose, the likes of Nathan Pearsall, who has played the mixed season last year. And I've been missing a young gun in Grayson Haynes, so that's a shame.
Well, I think the future of any Division 1 club is in games like this, where the Manly Moes, you know, we don't know who's potentially going to trade their mustache in for a mullet at some point in the future and play at the Div 1 level. But it certainly starts here in games like this where you're playing against, you know, fellow Div 2 competitors.
Great grab there from Nate.
You've been working against the zone of the Moes. Hess back to Jonathan Jonas. Oh, that's tipped by Matt Thomas.
The long reach of the spoon. Matt Thomas gets there. Gets the block when, again, U-Beam looking really good to score there. But now they find themselves on defence again. At least it's at this end of the field. With Manly Moes having to go upfield. That's a lovely pass inside, isn't it, Dan? It
is. Hard to do. Lachlan Roberts. It's probably been the MVP for me.
Yep.
He's been in nearly everything for the Moes. Harper, Graham Knight. Oh, he's... the head was in the hands and then it all came good as now Harper Knight is going to go the greatest attempt.
Good on the youngster. He was in on it. I'm not sure whether he was actually... No, he was outside when he threw it. But the intention was good.
Credit to him.
Yeah, good on him. He threw a nice dump pass there, and just as his dump went up the line, it was a bit unfortunate.
Railed. Sells the farm. As it was Day. Bids big. Jonas. Lavis. Folks. Sinclair. Oh, that's a zone-breaking throw out to Ollie DiPietro. Nate Hess. The Moes. The calls of the transition, folks. That quick, low-release backhand that he's got. Oh. And, folks, drives U-Beam in for the 12-8 scoreline.
Well done, U-Beam. Took their second chance and stuck with it. And it was, again, the same characters making these throws. Well, as you said, though, Stewie made the zone-breaking throw to Ollie DiPietro that really opened up the zone. Now this wind that's just been thrown around and now sort of coming in towards the camera now. It's more of a northerly.
It's a weird one.
Yep.
At the moment. Just enough to make it challenging.
Yeah.
And varying as well. It seems to be swirling.
Yeah, it is a bit swirly.
At one stage it seems to be coming from behind the camera and then it's coming into the camera. Then it's left to right, and then it's right to left.
All right, we're 12-8. What else can you be? They've tried match going into the breeze. Are they willing to try match now going down breeze? Although this wind is so swirling so much, what is down breeze? Ooh, what is that? Yeah, we're feeling here in the commentary booth a bit of a northerly coming towards the camera. And that scoreline now still, was that 13-11 I saw?
Yeah, 13-11. Sunder out in front in that one. Cool.
All right, it is match. They're gone to match.
And Walsh finding Alton Kuyag.
Oh, some good grabs here.
Tobias Walsh.
Oh, as soon as I say that.
Through the hands of Tom Ho. Absolutely cursed.
Oh!
And Tobias Walsh, a really good read on the disc. Josiah Smith went early. Fenger. Now Larson. Out. Ooh, it's a bobble. Cade Burgess.
He gave himself every chance to catch that out, but he remained in.
He nearly did himself a mischief.
Yes, he did. And this was the difference of the two throws. One into the breeze and holding up. The second with a lefty banking with the top of the disc into the breeze for the goal. Fortunately, you've been on the wrong end of those two contrasting throws. That was very nice. Oh, one-handed. It's like he'd found himself at the edge of a cliff.
Almost needed the sound effect of, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah. Don't look down. Okay, we've got 3 minutes here with 13-8. So it's a rate. Can U-Beam stop Manly getting to 15 by time cat here?
It's a long road back for U-Beam.
Yep. 1 put at a time though.
That's right. Every point 0-all.
Yep. Here we go. The wind has picked up again. Is that Remy with a great yank into the end zone?
Another disc golfer.
Yeah.
They're well represented in this game. There's quite a number of them. Jonas looking to the break side. Bolton finds Lavis. Bolton in the middle. Oh, trying to hit, folks.
Oh, well done, Jonas.
Jonas backing up. Gets called for a travel.
Oh, Remy.
Bit stiff by Remy.
Giving the man a break. Wait till you're that age, Remy.
And Jonas steps into it and gives it a ride, looking for Barnes.
Oh, Barnes almost ducked out of the road of that. But again, it's the difficulty of that sideline, isn't it? Throwing the flick with the bottom of the disc. Nevertheless, Manly need to go all the way up.
Nathan Roberts steps up. Thomas with a nice up the line and just the bobble out of the hand.
Hello. Oh, I don't like this at all. Oh, no, not Matty. I was going to whip down and find out what that is.
He's gone straight to the shade. Straight sit down. He's flexing the leg that doesn't have a bandage. Hopefully he's okay. Like a stinger. Just maybe that left leg getting extended or hyperextended. You can end up with some interesting injuries to the knee. Jonas out to the streaming Josh Bolton. And Bolton in a mile of space finds Chris Folks underneath. And the Newcastle U-Beam, they claw one back to 9-13. And with the horn going, they're just going to figure out whether or not that's the end of the game.
Oh, that would be a shame. Well, there's a double-edged sword. For U-Beam, with their low numbers, it's probably a relief. At the same time, you love to see a team score to win. Update on Matty Thomas. He's got something going on in his knee, he said, which has been bandaged up. And he's not sure what it is, but that impact certainly put paid to his game here now.
I'll tell you one of the strangest knee injuries that you could ever have. It was a pinched fatty pad.
Ah, yeah. Nothing worse.
And absolutely devastatingly painful as well.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to play at least one more point.
Looks like they're going to, Manly are going to, they're going to score to win here. We'll just get.
And
What's
13-9.
It's a game of 14.
This is final point.
Okay, very good.
So one more point to play, John.
One more point to play. So
maybe
whatever happens.
Manly Moes wins.
Yeah, well, it'd be a nice statement by U-Beam to steal the point, even though they lose.
Manly are going to receive the pull. Smith.
Josiah Smith, another disc golfer.
Tobias Walsh. Seeing more as a handler later stages. Oliver Springhall. Oh, that's an air bouncing forehand.
How many hands did that go through?
A third of I-beam and half of the Manly Moes, I think, all had a bite at that.
That was like a Mac line.
Here's Josiah Smith. Goes the inside breaking.
Oh!
Found Nate Hess. The
Nate
Pyrrhic
Hess.
history comes to light with Newcastle U-Beam finding their 10th score of the game. 13-10. Manly Moes run out victors in this match here. A great game.
That's a nice way for them to end it, U-Beam, and it was an enjoyable game. I think U-Beam really about class, and they just couldn't match the energy of the bigger Manly team. That said, Manly went down with 2 injuries, which I hope we'll see those players back in the tournament. Nevertheless, good to see them out there, Dan.
And on that note, we're going to wrap it up here for the second last match of the game. The next match is the highly fancied women's match, the last match of the day. So don't go anywhere because it promises to be a cracking game coming up shortly. We'll look forward to seeing you then. On behalf of ULTI.TV, thank you for joining us.
ULTI.TV.
I don't know if you guys have another game, but we can all chill out and I will.